Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a journey, not of the body but of the mind, for within your mind lies a force so powerful, so limitless, that when properly directed, it can draw to you the full measure of wealth this world has to offer. Understand this truth: riches are not merely the product of labor, nor are they the result of chance or favor. Wealth begins as a state of consciousness. It is first conceived in thought, and only then is it expressed in the material form. Therefore, to attract unlimited wealth, one must first learn to train the mind to think in harmony with prosperity. Every fortune, every empire of riches, every triumph of enterprise began with an idea. A single intangible thought formed in the invisible workshop of the mind. This idea, held with faith, backed by desire, and acted upon with unwavering persistence, becomes a magnet to draw all necessary elements for its manifestation. The trouble with most people is not that they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity. It is that they never take control of the one instrument which governs all results, their own mind. The first discipline is desire. True desire is not a passing whim nor a vague wish. It is a burning, definite, all-consuming obsession with a clearly defined goal. If you truly desire wealth, not as a vague hope, but with clarity and intensity, you have taken the first step. The mind responds to definiteness. It rejects vagueness. You must know what you want, why you want it, and how it will serve not only yourself but others. When the mind is given a specific aim, and it is charged with emotion, it begins to work in harmony with that aim day and night, waking or sleeping. But desire alone is not enough. The mind must be reprogrammed to accept the possibility, and indeed the certainty, of wealth. Most people have been conditioned since childhood to believe that money is scarce, that riches are reserved for the lucky or the corrupt, and that to seek abundance is to be greedy. These beliefs, though false, act as barriers in the subconscious mind, blocking the flow of prosperity. To attract wealth, you must replace limiting beliefs with empowering convictions. You must affirm daily, with emotion and repetition, that abundance is your rightful state, that wealth is good when used for good, that the universe is rich and overflowing, and that there is more than enough for all. Next comes imagination, the workshop of the mind. All great wealth builders have cultivated the power to see, in their minds, the exact picture of the riches they seek. They have seen it so clearly and so often that it becomes more real to them than the present circumstances of their lives. You must do the same. Take time each day to close your eyes and build in your imagination a clear, vivid picture of the life you desire. Feel the joy of it, hear the sounds, smell the success. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real. It acts upon the dominant images it receives, and it sets in motion unseen forces to bring those images into form. Yet even all this, desire, belief, imagination, is fruitless without action. The mind that is trained to attract wealth is not lazy. It is alert, observant, bold. It sees opportunity where others see failure. It listens for whispers of inspiration and acts before the moment passes. Wealth is attracted not to those who merely wish, but to those who do, not impulsively, but persistently, not desperately, but confidently. One must be willing to pay the price in effort, in patience, in endurance. There is another law, the law of service. True wealth is never built by those who seek only to get. It flows to those who give. The man who renders more value than he is paid for will soon be paid more than he renders. Train your mind to seek ways to solve problems, to improve lives, to uplift others. In doing so, you place yourself in the stream of abundance. You become a channel through which wealth must flow because you are aligned with its source, contribution, and finally develop faith, faith not in idle hopes, but in universal law. The mind that believes in its power to create will not be shaken by temporary defeat. It will rise again and again until victory is won. This faith must be absolute, and it must be nurtured daily. Speak to yourself with strength. Guard your thoughts as you would guard your fortune. Surround yourself with voices and influences that build you up. Keep your vision before you like a beacon, and never, never let it go. You have within you now the power to become rich beyond all measure, not only in money, but in mind, in character, and in impact. Train your mind, and wealth will be its natural expression. The universe responds not to need nor to effort alone, but to the trained and directed mind that knows what it wants and refuses to accept anything less. The greatest secret of the wealthy is that they do not wait for conditions to be perfect. They do not require certainty before moving forward. They move first guided not by external circumstances, but by an inner conviction that all things will align once the mind is fixed upon the outcome. If you wait for perfect timing, for flawless clarity, for guarantees, you will wait your whole life. Wealth is not found in hesitation. It is born in decisiveness. Train your mind to act in spite of fear. Fear is a ghost, a liar, a thief. It steals from you the treasures that could be yours, but it only has power if you feed it. Starve it with boldness, silence it with action. Those who attract wealth are not only dreamers but doers. They study, they refine their skills, they associate with those who lift their standards. They make themselves valuable, wealth follows value. If you are not yet receiving the income you desire, ask yourself this: what more can I become? How much more can I offer? Am I expanding my mind daily? Am I surrounding myself with those who challenge me, those who live at the level I aspire to reach? A stagnant mind repels wealth. A growing mind pulls it in like a magnet. Your environment matters. It is the soil in which your thoughts take root. If you dwell among the negative, the doubtful, the small-minded, you will begin to absorb their energy. The trained mind does not allow the weeds of mediocrity to take root. It selects its influences with care. Choose your company as you would choose a business partner, with scrutiny, with intention. Let no one who belittles ambition, mocks success, or glorifies lack sit in the council of your mind. The mind, like a garden, grows what is planted. Plant abundance, water it with gratitude, expose it to the sunlight of strong belief. Another essential practice is discipline, mental, emotional, and physical. Train your mind to focus. We live in a world of noise, of distraction, of endless demand. The wealthy mind is a directed mind. It does not scatter its power across 1,000 trivial things. It selects a few vital aims and pursues them relentlessly. Concentration is the secret weapon of the achiever. When you learn to hold one idea in your mind with such force that all else fades away, you will begin to see results others call miraculous, but it is not a miracle. It is the law of mind in action. Along with focus, you must master persistence. Wealth rarely comes to the first attempt or the second, but to the one who refuses to quit, the universe eventually yields. Temporary defeat is not failure. It is feedback. It is the refining fire that shapes your character and sharpens your aim. Do not fear adversity. Welcome it as a necessary companion on your path. The trained mind sees every obstacle not as a dead end, but as a signal. Learn more, grow stronger, press forward. Most people stop at the first sign of difficulty. That is why they do not experience wealth. But you are not most people. You are training your mind to think differently, to respond differently, to persist where others retreat. There is also the power of gratitude. It may seem like a soft principle, but it is a force that shifts your energy from scarcity to abundance. A mind that is grateful sees opportunities others overlook. It attracts allies, opens doors, and draws more to be thankful for. Begin and end each day with a sincere recognition of the good already present in your life. No matter how small, find it, name it, feel it. This simple practice aligns you with the frequency of wealth. You cannot feel lack and abundance at the same time. Gratitude is the bridge. Speak only of what you want. Never affirm lack with your words. The mind takes instruction from what is spoken aloud. If you say, "I am broke," "money is hard to come by," or "nothing ever works out for me," your subconscious will accept those statements as commands, and it will act accordingly. Instead, say, "I am increasing in wealth and wisdom every day. Opportunities are coming to me from all directions. I am becoming the kind of person to whom wealth flows easily." Words are seeds. Plant wisely. Another key principle is decision. Wealth avoids the indecisive. Train your mind to make decisions quickly, to stand by them, and to change only when new, better facts are available. Wavering is the death of momentum. Wealth responds to those who move with certainty, not arrogance but clarity. Decide what you want, decide what you will give in return, and decide that nothing will stop you from achieving it. This power of decision brings order to the mind, and order attracts abundance. Finally, recognize that you are already enough. The mind that believes it must prove itself to deserve wealth will always chase it, but never fully receive it. You must believe that your very existence makes you worthy of success. That your ideas matter, that your efforts are worthy of reward. Confidence is not arrogance. It is a quiet, unshakable trust in your ability to grow, to adapt, to overcome, and to thrive. The trained mind does not beg for wealth. It claims it, not from others, but from within. For all wealth is first internal before it is ever expressed externally. You are not limited by your past, your background, or your current resources. You are only limited by the extent to which you will discipline, direct, and develop your mind. And the mind, once trained to think in alignment with wealth, becomes the most powerful tool for its creation. The mind is both servant and master. Until you train it, it serves the habits and fears of the past. Once trained, it becomes your most faithful servant, working day and night to create in your external world the exact mirror of what you have chosen to believe internally. Everything in your current environment, your financial condition, your relationships, your level of peace or anxiety, is a reflection of what your mind has accepted as true. Change the beliefs, and the results must change. There is no exception to this law. The inner precedes the outer. The cause precedes the effect. The mind must be reconditioned to accept wealth as normal, as natural, as inevitable. Most people are attempting to create a wealthy life with a poverty, conditioned mind. They take bold action, yet secretly expect failure. They dream of abundance, but speak words of lack. They write goals on paper, but harbor self, doubt in the heart. This internal conflict sabotages all progress. You cannot expect to attract that which your deeper mind rejects. You must come into total alignment. Thought, word, feeling, and action must agree. Only then does the full power of attraction begin to operate on your behalf. Begin to examine the thoughts you allow to dominate your mental space. Are they thoughts of increase, of possibility, of vision, or are they complaints, criticisms, and limitations? The mind becomes what it thinks about most. You are the gatekeeper. You must decide, consciously and repeatedly, which thoughts are permitted to stay. If a thought of fear, scarcity, or inferiority arises, do not entertain it. Replace it with one of faith, abundance, and worthiness. Over time, this conscious effort becomes automatic. You are literally rewiring your brain for success. Understand also that wealth is not the result of hustle alone. Many toil endlessly without much to show for it. The missing ingredient is alignment. When the mind is aligned with wealth, action becomes far more powerful. One inspired idea followed with faith can produce more than years of uninspired labor. Train your mind to expect flashes of insight. Train it to be still enough to receive them. Solutions, inventions, strategies. They already exist in the invisible. It is the trained, focused, expectant mind that tunes in and retrieves them. Time must be treated as a sacred resource. The wealthy mind values time above money because it understands that time, once lost, cannot be regained. Every moment spent on negativity, gossip, worry, or distraction is a withdrawal from your wealth account. Guard your time. Invest it in study, in planning, in creating, in building meaningful connections. Do not be deceived by the illusion of busyness. Activity is not productivity. The trained mind prioritizes effectiveness over movement. It asks constantly, is this moving me closer to my purpose? Is this worthy of my attention? Create the habit of decision-making that is based on vision, not circumstance. The untrained mind looks at the bank balance, the opinions of others, and the fears of the moment before it chooses. The trained mind looks at the goal, the higher self, and the unseen possibilities. Wealth is not built from what is, but from what can be. Refuse to shrink your dreams to match your resources. Expand your belief to match your dreams. Every limitation is first accepted in the mind. Remove the mental limits, and the external limits will crumble. Visualization must become a daily practice. This is not idle daydreaming. It is deliberate mental construction. You are building the structure of your future in thought, brick by brick. The more real you make it in your mind, the more emotion, detail, and certainty you apply, the faster it must come into form. Do not wait for evidence. Act as though it is already done. The subconscious does not respond to truth or falsehood. It responds to repetition and emotion. Feel it now, live it internally now, and watch as life rearranges itself to match your inner state. The language you use is a direct channel to your subconscious. Words carry vibration, intention, and belief. Never speak carelessly. Do not say you are trying to get rich. Say you are building wealth. Do not say you hope things improve. Say you are creating a new reality. Speak in the language of certainty, not possibility. This programs your mind to act accordingly. And when the mind is convinced, the world must follow. It is not arrogance to speak in terms of success. It is alignment with the universal law of creation. Self-image is destiny. You can never rise above the mental picture you hold of yourself. If you see yourself as a struggler, a second-class person, someone not meant for wealth, your results will always confirm that identity. You must choose a new self-image, one of a capable, valuable, worthy individual who attracts wealth easily because of who they are. This new image must be built with care and repetition. You cannot merely say it once and expect change. Daily, you must see yourself in your mind as already successful, already wealthy, already living the life you desire. Take care not to define yourself by your current circumstances. You are not your past, you are not your bank account, you are not your failures, you are what you choose to believe. Train your mind to separate identity from circumstance. Circumstances can be changed. Identity must be chosen. The wealthy person does not ask, "Can I do this?" but rather, "Who must I become to do this?" That question leads to transformation. It leads to expansion, and expansion is the path to wealth. Discipline is a form of self-love. When you train your mind to do what is necessary even when you don't feel like it, you are telling your subconscious, "I am in control." This builds power, it builds momentum. And with momentum, the impossible becomes easy. Small disciplines, practiced daily, lead to massive results. The mind that is consistent becomes unstoppable. Whether it's reading, writing, planning, saving, investing, or building, consistency beats intensity. Train your mind to show up daily, and the results will astonish you. Another vital truth is that wealth expands through faith and contracts through doubt. When you move with faith, doors open. When you hesitate in doubt, opportunities vanish. Doubt is not weakness. It is a signal that your belief system must be upgraded. Do not try to fight doubt, replace it. Feed your faith with evidence, study those who have succeeded, read stories of triumph. Speak your intentions, surround yourself with belief. Eventually, the scale tips, and belief becomes dominant. At that point, wealth is inevitable. Money itself is energy. It flows where it is respected, appreciated, and understood. Train your mind to see money not as an end, but as a tool for service, for growth, for freedom. Do not chase money out of desperation. Attract it with purpose. When your motives are clean and your vision is strong, money will come. Handle it wisely when it does. Direct it with clarity. Circulate it with purpose, and you will find that more flows to you, because the trained mind multiplies whatever it is given. Expect good to come to you. Not once, but always. This is not superstition. It is a mental framework that shapes perception. The person who expects wealth sees opportunities others miss. They act on ideas others ignore. They persist where others give up. The trained mind does not merely wish for wealth. It expects it, it prepares for it, it aligns with it, and this expectation becomes a magnetic force. Never underestimate the influence of emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. The emotions you feel most often are shaping your financial reality. Train your mind to dwell in elevated states: gratitude, confidence, joy, peace. These emotions signal to the subconscious that all is well, and the subconscious then works to maintain that reality. This is not denial of problems. It is the choice to focus on solutions, to find strength in challenge, and to remain faithful to your vision. Read, study, learn from those who have walked the path before you. Not to imitate, but to understand the principles they applied. Success leaves clues. The more you expose your mind to stories of possibility, the more your own belief expands. Ignorance is expensive. The mind that is fed with rich ideas, with timeless truths, and with the wisdom of achievers becomes a fertile ground for wealth. It begins to think in terms of value, leverage, systems, and opportunity. Detach from the need for immediate results. Train your mind to play the long game. The seed does not sprout the day it is planted. The wealth you seek may not appear tomorrow, but every step you take, every affirmation, every visualization, every disciplined action, is a deposit into your future. Trust the process. The mind that is trained for wealth is patient but persistent. It does not stop to count the crops before the season has passed. It knows the harvest is coming, and it works in faith while it waits. Your current reality is malleable, it is not fixed. The trained mind sees this. It does not accept present limits as permanent. It sees beyond what is and focuses on what can be. And because it holds that vision, it begins to shape reality in its image. Wealth is not created outside of you, it begins within. Every dollar you earn, every opportunity you seize, every relationship you build, flows from the internal blueprint you've accepted as possible. Upgrade the blueprint, and you upgrade your life. No matter your age, your background, or your education, your mind is your greatest asset, and the most profitable investment you can make is the conditioning of that mind. To think thoughts of abundance, to expect success, to persist through resistance, to serve with excellence, to speak with power, to believe without evidence. This is the path of the wealth creator. It begins not in banks or stock markets, not in credentials or connections, but in thought. Pure, focused, disciplined thought. Train your mind, and nothing shall be withheld from you. Wealth does not respond to need. It responds to clarity, decision, and unwavering belief. You may need money, but that need alone is not enough. The universe does not deliver based on desperation. It delivers based on alignment. Train your mind to move out of the frequency of lack and into the frequency of abundance. This is done not by wishing for change, but by declaring it, by embodying it, by acting as if the outcome were already certain. You must carry yourself as one who is already wealthy, not in arrogance, but in energy. Not in pretense, but in inner truth. The world reflects what you are, not what you wish for. Most live reactively. Their mood, their belief, their effort, all depend on current results. But the trained mind lives independently of circumstance. It creates first within, knowing that the results will catch up. You must be able to hold the image of your wealthy self with intensity even when the outer world gives no sign of progress. That is faith. That is strength, and that is the difference between those who almost succeed and those who do. Refuse to argue for your limitations. Do not spend energy justifying why you are stuck, why it is hard, or why others have it easier. The mind trained for wealth does not indulge in excuses. It uses every situation as fuel. If there is a problem, it looks for the lesson. If there is a delay, it looks for the refinement. If there is a loss, it looks for the seed of greater gain. This mindset, this relentless focus on what is possible, is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The future you desire is already waiting. You must become the person who can receive it. In the end, attracting unlimited wealth begins and ends with the mind. It is your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits of thinking, and your willingness to act in alignment with your highest vision that create the reality you experience. Wealth is not an accident or a matter of luck. It is a precise result of a disciplined, focused, and empowered mind. When you train your mind to think clearly, act boldly, believe deeply, and persist relentlessly, you become a magnet for abundance in every form. Remember, the power to create unlimited wealth is already within you. Unlock it, Nurture it, and watch as your life transforms beyond what you once thought possible.